We're now just 16 days away from what could be the most consequential set of midterm elections in modern history. I am here on Belle Isle in Detroit, Michigan, where the stakes couldn't be higher. All three of the state's top leaders, the governor, the attorney general, and the secretary of state, are locked in re-election battles against opponents who've embraced the big lie in some shape or form. Plus, there are a slew of other election deniers up and down the ballot. And in just about 2 weeks, abortion rights will literally be on everybody's ballot in Michigan. Michiganders will vote on an initiative called the Right to Reproductive Freedom. It's Proposal 3, which would add an amendment to their state constitution that would explicitly protect and guarantee abortion rights in the state of Michigan. Earlier in the week, I visited the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation in the city of Dearborn, right outside of Detroit. I was joined by 6 people from across the political spectrum who are wholly steeped in Michigan politics. It was a worthwhile and important conversation, which I started by asking which issues were top of mind.
This year, I think it's abortion. I know we'll probably talk about that so much more, but I can't think of a single issue that, even if people disagree on it, they're unified in the idea that they all care about it. And abortion didn't used to be one of the issues where you'd see people coming up to midterm ballots with that on their minds. But we obviously know with Prop 3 and with the general nationwide dialogue around abortion right now, and especially in the area I cover, I talk to college students, I talk to young people, it's the single biggest issue for them, I would say, this year is abortion.
There are several things. I have to echo what she said. I would be remiss if I didn't add a few things that are important. Economic equity, livable wage, homelessness of veterans in particular, health care, just having equity for all people. Those are critical things that, and support for parents. And we haven't talked about it, but the great resignation of teachers, support and resources for our teachers.
I think the biggest issue in Michigan is abortion. I'm hearing that from, like I said, other parents, from the women that I work with through my profession, and families in general. Just people want to know that they have reproductive rights and that they have access to health care when they need it. It's not just abortion, it's lots of other services that are related. And so that's what people are concerned about. I'm even hearing people saying things like they're worried that if they have fertility issues, that might be affected as well. So, I mean, that affects a lot of people in our state. So they just want to know that they can have access to the reproductive care that they need when they need it.
Wayne, what's the most motivating thing to you in this election?
Economic stability and education. To be honest, when I'm dealing with a lot of different community groups and folks, that's what's most important right now. Can I get a job? Can I pay for my home? Can I pay my rent? I think, and then I'm not picking on anybody on this abortion issue. That is a luxury for some people to be their number one concern. That's truly a luxury because people don't have, it's about to be wintertime. Can they pay their bills? With the rising cost of gas, now these heating bills are going to be coming. Do I have a solid economic base to provide for my family and my kids? And is Governor Whitmer giving that the best opportunity in Michigan? I think that, again, for suburban moms and for folks outside of inner cities, that might be the biggest issue. But in the inner cities, it's about jobs. Can I provide for my family? And can I provide and make sure that my kids get a proper education?
I see reproductive freedom, which in abortion is one part of that, as both an economic issue and a rights issue. So it's both. If you are being forced to have a baby that you didn't expect to have because you were raped, that's an economic issue for you. It's going to change the rest of your life. When we look at reproductive rights, we do need to look at the ability to make your own decision for your body. I know I personally struggled with fertility, so it was a struggle, and it was something that took a lot of, it was my family coming together and making decisions together about how we were going to try to grow our family. And in the end, fertility treatments helped me to conceive my twins. But that should be up to a family to make when it's time to do that or when it's not time to do that. That shouldn't be in the hands of politicians.
The most motivating factor for me is, as a grandfather of 3 with another one on the way, it's the future of our democracy. I want to make sure that this country is moving forward in a manner that not only will I be proud of the country that I'm handing my children and grandchildren, but that they'll have the same opportunities that I did. And that goes to the rights. That goes to education. That does go to jobs as well.
I want to pick on something you said. Martin, I'm going to ask you. Is democracy in your top 3 concerns right now?
Well, I would say our democratic republic is definitely, and also the stability of our country is definitely at the top of my list. I'm concerned about the personality cult and its control over one of the major political parties in this country. And I think he's coming back, and I don't know what that's going to mean for this country. So, yeah, absolutely. Because the polling shows that a lot of people think that the election 2 years ago was rigged in the state of Michigan, and I strongly disagree with that. I don't care if your candidate won or lose, but there are so many checks and balances in this country, in this state, and I'm sure most of us who are involved in the system have witnessed those protections.
Yep.
And I just am very concerned about that.
I'm going to ask you the same question. Wayne, where's democracy on your list of concerns right
It's
now?
definitely in I would call it my top 5. I start off the questions with my Republican friends. Is the election in 2020, did Trump lose or not? If they can't answer that with a straight face, that's probably not going to be my candidate. I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with losing and coming back and fighting again, as opposed to still complaining about, I'm a big sports guy. It's no point in complaining about something if you lost 2 years later. Let's focus on winning moving forward. And it frustrates me to see people that I know personally that still, kind of won't let that go.
Given what you've seen Donald Trump do, would you vote for him again?
Now, right now, I am. I would like to see some other candidates out there. I like to see.
He's a diplomat. He's a diplomat. I'd like to see some other candidates.
I like to see some other candidates.
Lily, let me ask you, when you talk to students, is democracy on their minds?
It absolutely is. I think it comes in many avenues. You're not likely to see as many young people going, oh my God, I am so concerned about election integrity. But they're concerned about it in ways that manifest differently. So one of the things that I can speak to right now, myself included, is media literacy and the way that we interact with information. There's so much false information out there. We all know that. And it's, for young people, it can be really bombarding. We're on social media, we're all around, we're constantly communicating. And I think we can all kind of agree that press is democracy. You don't have one without the other. And there's a real tide against people who work in media and people who work in press right now. It's not, I'm 20 years old. I work at a college newspaper, and I get emails from people telling me that I am the Antichrist and that I am killing democracy because of the work that I do.
I'm not sure it's going to get much better for you, I have to tell you.
I don't expect it to. But one of the things that when I talk to people, when I talk to students, when I talk to my peers, when I say, hey, could I interview you for this? They're like, do you feel like the work you're doing is worth it? Because there's so much vitriol. And I think the answer is always yes. And the answer for so many people who are in college right now is that the more information we have access to, the better off we're going to be, the better off our democracy is going to be.